Monday, 24 April 2023. I hope you're doing great and I hope you're doing amazing. Yes, it is still a holiday. Some people are just opportune and you're just at home enjoying the holiday, but some of us are not. But guess what? We'll make the best of it regardless. Yeah, like I always say, wherever it is that you find yourself, just make the best of it, okay? And for you that you're at home enjoying the holiday, it will soon finish. The holiday is gonna be over, okay? So by this time tomorrow, you're going to be at work. But however it is, just ensure that you make the best of it. You're welcome on Women Radio, WFM 91.7. My name is Esther Alaribi. On the big question, we get to discuss and proffer solutions to issues affecting us as a nation and as citizens. We get to look at these issues from different angles and proffer solutions. Today on the big question, we're discussing 2023 National Census. How prepared are Nigerians? How prepared are Nigerians? The phone lines are open 07000 for you to join the conversation, or you can send us a text or a WhatsApp message 070 to be a part of the conversation. You can find us across all social media platforms at WFM 917. Listen live via the website www.wfm917.com. The last census we had in Nigeria was in 2006, and now Nigeria is set to conduct another census. And this one, the way some Nigerians get to talk about it, seems like a lot of Nigerians they're not having it at this time. We're like, oh, is this what we're supposed to be doing at this time? We just had the election. Look at how much was spent on the election, and now we're having to talk about census. They're just a whole lot. But the National Population Commission has said that, yes, we're going to be having this. So at first, it was slated for March. Due to the election, there was a postponement. Now we're looking at come 3rd May. But there's still some comments about not being able to hold due to funding and might be postponed. But until then, until we get to hear from the NPC, let's just see how this is going to turn out. But a lot of Nigerians have concerns. Some people have questions as to, oh, are we supposed to travel? Is there going to be a holiday? Will I be counted where I live? Or do I have to travel back to my state of origin? How is this going to be like? Some people are like, oh, I've never been counted before. What am I supposed to do? Will there be a holiday? So all of these questions here, you asked and we listened. So yes, we're going to be talking about all of this. So that's why we asked today, how prepared are Nigerians for the 2023 National Census? Yes, I have my guest who is going to be talking about this with us extensively. I'm speaking to Abdullahi Haruna, who is a census ambassador. Good afternoon, Haruna. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon, Esther. It's my pleasure to be here.
Yes, good
Happy
afternoon.
holidays.
Yes, thank you. Happy
Even,
holidays, but you
even,
can see that I'm at work, Abi Haruna.
even though you're gloating at the holidays, will soon be over.
I know, right? The
At
holidays.
last, we're able to enjoy ourselves for the
Well,
meantime.
well, I
So,
know. Just enjoy the holiday for the meantime because by this time tomorrow we are going to be at work, whether you like it or not.
sure, we are rejuvenated, eager to contribute to nation building
Of course,
comes
of course.
tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's all good. I like the fact that we just get to, when these public holidays come like this, you just take out time, just disconnect from all of the things you get to do every day and just help you feel better. So you have better ideas to run whatever it is that you do when you go back to work. Okay? So
Sure,
now,
sure.
going into the conversations today, what are your thoughts on the 2023 national this census that we're going to be having? Because the last one we had was in 2006, and a lot has happened after then. So many children have been birthed after then. Some people have also lost their lives since then. Just so many things have happened. So, what do you think about this one coming now?
Life is a continuous roller coaster.
Mm.
The day you're born, somebody else dies. The day you die, somebody else is born. So there's never an end to life.
Of course.
So we can equate this as the uncertain reality, undisputable reality of existence. Uh, because of how critical the census is to national planning, every sane, responsible, and reasonable government ought to have the number of people it has in its domain or nation, as the case may be. So Nigeria is not an exception. That we haven't had a census since 2006 is actually an aberration and a slap to our nationhood because without knowing the accurate number of your population, how do you even plan for healthcare?
True.
How do you plan for education? How do you plan for schools? For public transportation, for social welfare safety net. How do you actually plan for the food you intend to use in feeding your nation, your population, as the case may be? So that this is usually a perennial, uncertain reality in our country is actually not a good one for us. Population ought to have been at our fingertips. Everybody should know who is being bettered or who is dying. When you
Mm.
do that, you have a nation that is prepared for any eventualities. Like I said earlier, census is not because people want to be counted for counting's sake. It's for it's for proper planning, for equitable distribution of resources. For instance, if I live in Abuja, the government should know how many numbers of Nigerians and non-Nigerians reside in Abuja so that the healthcare needs of that population in Abuja can adequately be addressed. Do you know why we have issues of inadequate schools or hospitals is
Mm.
because of the influence of people into a particular region. As I speak, there's no parks in Nigeria that doesn't carry or have anybody come to Abuja almost every hour. So Abuja, for instance, is saturated with humans so much that it becomes a burden for the healthcare, for the water situation, for the schools, for the transportation, for the security implication. Because if you do not know the number of people trooping into a system, how will you
Mm-hmm.
actually provide for the number of policemen
Yeah.
or security apparatus that are supposed to be deployed to check all of this? So census, it's one of the critical fundamental indices of any national development. It comes far and even above elections. Elections are used to determine leadership, and leadership in a country are not even 1/3 of the population. People dissipate, put so much energy into elections. Meanwhile, the critical one, which is census, which is knowing the number of people in a country, are relegated and not even talked about. They're not given premium attention. That is why we are where we are as a nation. We do not know how many we are. We are only speculative in our subject, in our submission, which is not good. So I think that this government, even at the tail end of its existence, is trying all it can to have a census, to have a Nigerians counted, and even our houses counted. It shows that we're actually on the right path. It's never late. Nothing is ever too late in life. The moment you fall and you rise up to continue from where you fall actually makes you a resilient and determined person. So the census has come to stay. And every stakeholder must actually do all they can to make sure that this succeeds. Again, census is not a regional supremacy. It doesn't give premium to the number of people in the southwest,
Mm.
the number of people in the north, the number of people in the east. No, census is a measuring tool to know how many people reside in Alagbado, for instance, in Lagos or wherever it is, so that we know the kind of things that government can deploy to that region. So, and you really don't have to start bragging that your region is more populated than the other one. No, when you do that, you may give false statistics or false misrepresented facts that will not help in national planning. Like I said, census is a tool for national planning and development.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I mean, it was very, very clear. And I like the fact that you had to mention what exactly the whole idea behind census is all about because a lot of Nigerians don't understand it. I've heard some people say things like, "Oh, I was not allowed to vote in the course of the election because of this, this, and this." Some of the things that people alleged and saying, "Oh, when they come to count me, I will not allow them to count me," and all of those. I think we need to talk about the disadvantage that it's going to pose to us as a society if people do not allow themselves to be counted. Because I've heard different things from people. I've read different things from people. And this bothers me because if you say because of some things that you felt that happened in the course of the election that didn't sit well with you, and when the enumerators come around to come count you or people around your area and you tell them, oh, don't allow them count you. You don't know why they're counting you. So that's why we're having to talk about this now. So people get to know well ahead why they should be counted.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I don't understand the equation when we're trying to equate census to the election.
I really don't know how
Elections
to.
are, they do not, they don't even correlate in whatever, factual sense, because election, like I said, it's an exercise that produces our leaders who are less than maybe 1% of the entire population. Election produces political leaders, while census counts, every citizens or non-citizens or residents in Nigeria. And the purpose is for planning for health, planning for education, planning for agriculture, planning for cultural activities. you know it's people who should not who should disconnect from the grievance of the last election and focus on the gain that comes with this census. In let's say Enugu, for instance, if you travel, let's say from Abuja to Enugu during the census because you want to have a numerical strength of regional numerical strength.
Mm.
And after if you are counted in Enugu, after the census, you return to Abuja. You know, by the time you're coming to Abuja, the employment needs in Abuja would have been estimated based on the reality of people that were counted in Abuja. So by the time you're coming to Abuja again, and the provisions are made for jobs, and you are not included, well, you actually scared yourself because you were counted, your employment slot was actually allocated for you in Enugu, even though you don't reside there, because you went there to be counted. So it's the reality on what is on ground that is census, not what
Okay,
is
so in that
expected.
case, okay, in that
The
case,
north can be.
I've heard some people say things like, "Oh, am I supposed to travel to my state of origin, or should I stay back where I live and be counted there?"
you 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 don't have to travel anywhere. When you sleep and wake and go to work is your place of residence. That is your permanent place as far as the census is concerned.
Okay.
There are migrational issues. You can travel for Christmas, for Easter, for Salah, that, and for holidays. That is not your permanent place of abode. It's not your retirement place. It's not your working place where you earn your living. When you sleep and snore and wake up and prepare for the next day, it is where you should be counted, because the government of that place needs to know how many inhabitants they do have in that municipality or municipal. For instance, we are talking about Abuja. We're talking about Enugu, for instance. They also know the number of people. They need to know the number of people who reside and work and sleep in Enugu. That way, they are able to adequately plan for their citizens. When you wake up in Nigeria, you say we are estimated to be 200 million. Who did
Mm-hmm.
the estimation? Why should census be estimated when there are measurable tools that can give you statistical and accurate or scientific measurement? So people shouldn't travel to their regions, to their states, if they are not residing there. If you are residing in your state, please stay there and be counted. Don't come to Abuja, don't go to Maiduguri, don't go to Oshogbo just because you want to add to the population of that place. You understand? So
Okay.
census basically is to know the number of Nigerians residing in designated places, so that this makes it very easy for them to be enumerated and counted. If you live in Kaduna, for
Mm.
instance, and there's an emerging town, let's say the Millennium City in Kaduna, you built your house there, and when the time comes for counting, your house will be counted and there's nobody in that house at the time of counting, it will be assumed that there is an uncompleted building. And it's okay, maybe water should not get there yet because people are not there yet. But when you're physically present, so this is a priority. These people need to survive. These people need to have health. They need to have security. They need to have police station. They need to have postal office, and the likes of it. So this is why census exists. It's not for political supremacy. It's not for regional brag rights that we have more population than these people. Again, population is good for elections, but again, with the introduction of technology, where beavers, IREV are deployed, your inflated population may not work. For instance, states like Rivers, Kano that used to produce 2 million votes, where barely couldn't produce a million votes. So things don't change, madam.
I see. All right. Thank you so much, Haruna, for that. It is 20 minutes past 12 on your Women Radio 91.7, and this is the big question. You want to join the conversation? 07000 is the number for you to call in, or you can send us a text or a WhatsApp message via 070 This is the big question where we get to discuss issues affecting us as citizens and as a nation, and we get to prefer solutions. My name is Esther Alaribe, and my guest today is Abdullahi Haruna, a census ambassador, and we're discussing 2023 National Census, how prepared are Nigerians. Coming back to you, Haruna, I'm glad that you mentioned technology, talking about beavers and IREV and all. So now, the National Population Commission is having to tell us that this census is going to be conducted digitally. So I want you to expatiate on digitally because taking it back to the elections and how a lot of Nigerians are still complaining about how some of the act or some of the conduct during the election did not sit well with them. How do we convince Nigerians that the NPC is ready to conduct the census using using technology, and this is going to be well accounted for? What do you say?
Yeah, yeah, like I said, technology has come to stay. In fact, we've moved to those geospatial mapping of houses to a more advanced technology. In fact, people are now even deploying artificial intelligence to carry out this kind of exercise. Uh, the census history, when you check it, you understand that it started from just manual, to a certain level of technology. I think today there is a major shift to a more advanced uh, use of technology to conduct the counting of Nigerians and household. You know, for instance, there is this approach that started with the demarcation of enumeration areas that covers the entire territorial space of Nigeria by using what they call a mobile handheld device
Okay.
and a geographical information system. Yes, GIS, even satellite imagery to create a digital census map. This digital frame has produced a major tool for the planning of human and material resources, for the census. It determines the enumerators assignment areas and forms, there's this basis for distribution of material during the census. So it's of great relevance. This census and the population issue in Nigeria is of, like I said earlier, it's of great relevance to economic, political, and show cultural planning of Nigeria. It starts from the training, actually, the recruitment and training of modalities,
Okay.
which is actually a deviation from the old order. This new strategy is designed for an e-recruitment in collaboration with relevant departments of the commission. Unlike before, where people are recruited based on who know who. This time around, technology was deployed to recruit Nigerians who ma the handheld machine that does the counting. How did this happen? You are a link is given to you. You register based on where you are living. So you people of that localities are the one that will do the counting. You're not bringing somebody from Osun State to go to Zamfara and go and count the people there. It is the
Okay.
people, the inhabitants of that place. This is what their first technology, actually they came up with, and they actually deployed what they call question modifications, questionnaire modification, where data becomes the real issue. So it goes to the present use of what is it called? Of technology. So to just like you had like the elections that the last election where certain technologies were used. This time around, there's a device, a built device that cannot be infiltrated, that cannot be tempered. Once you are counted, you are counted. Households are counted, people are counted. Even those you find in IDP are also given the opportunity to be counted. So the machines deployed, the technology we deploy is watertight. It is prepared absolutely to address uh, these sensors. And I'm not sure anybody wants to, come around and begin to doubt what these people are doing. I may not have the sufficient information about this technology, but with the little knowledge I have, they are up and ready for these sensors without any forms of manipulation, misrepresentation, falsification of data and the rest. Everything will be watertight. And there are real life situations as is happening is going to a portal that will be accessible to the public and even stakeholders. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Yes, you mentioned IDPs. Now, let's talk about the need to actually be very inclusive in this census. I've seen different reports asking that persons with disabilities be available to be counted. Also, now talking about people in the IDPs, also, how do we ensure that they are all carried along in this process?
Basically, population are categorized into about, I think, 8 categories.
Okay.
Eh? You have the regular household, you have institutional household, you have homeless household, you have homeless persons, you have nomadic household, you have transients of household, you have fishing and hunting population, then you have the census functionaries. These are categories of people that ought to be counted. So
Mm.
if anywhere that is designated but in this category will definitely be counted. You know, uh, people in the IDP are humans. They are Nigerians displaced by circumstances. So, technologies, personnel definitely will be, deployed to these people, to this area, so that these people can actually be counted. By the time they are settled, you know, information about where they come from, their job, their sex, kind of demography will be put into consideration, so that by the time if they see they come from Meduguri and they are 100, for instance, in an IDP in Abuja, by the time you are relocating them, you know that you are adding additional 100 of counted people in absentia
Mm.
to the existing, to the existing reality, because by the time they return to their base, they would have increased the population of that area. So everybody is counted. Everybody is counted. And when you come to, the households, they are counted as head of household, spouse, son, daughter, brother, sister, other relation, people living with you, no relation you find in your house, in your houses. These are people that are all also counted, as the case may be. So nobody, as far as the census is concerned in Nigeria, everybody will definitely be counted, and
Mm.
even household will also be counted.
All right. Thank you
It's
so
not,
much.
it's like I said, it's
Mm.
not for any gain, it's not for any political gain, it's for politics, for political, economic, and cultural planning. That is all.
Hmm. All right, thank you so much, Haruna, for that. So there's been some comment around the census likely to be postponed again due to funding and logistic problems. What do you say to that?
Until it happens, we can't join in rumor mill. We can't fly in the kite of those speculating it to be postponed. No,
Mm.
but no one can actually predict the next day. No one can predict, eventualities or the uncertain realities in life. So as long as the body, the National Population Commission, has have not come out to say that they are postponing the election, then why should Nigerians be speculating? Why not hope and prepare for the best? Like again in Nigeria, we are used to fire brigade approach.
Mm.
If there are logistical issues, if there are funding issues, I think the government should, that actually gave a nod for this census, should come out quickly and make available all the logistics. I'm sure were this to be election, the noise would have been everywhere. The stakeholders would have been agitating for release of funds.
Mm.
I think the government should quickly do this before it leaves by making funds available. The census was postponed before. It shouldn't happen again for the second time. I think it won't augur well for the psyche of Nigeria, for the credibility of our nation. Whatever are the gray area, I think they should be addressed. Logistic issues, funding should be made available because whether we like it or not, this is the responsibility of government. And no amount is too much for a nation to plan, to prepare for it planning. Because without planning, you are just in a rudderless governance. The system must be properly planned. We must know the number of unemployed. We must know the number of able-bodied men who are unemployed. We must know the number of healthy people. We must know the number of hospitals, houses. We must know the number of schools, the people that will be admitted into these schools in the years to come, that we are adequately prepared. The National Planning Office or Ministry must be ready, must be seen, talking about the census more than even the census body, because what the census body is doing is helping them to achieve their own target of achieving country. We're talking about national planning and development. This is very key. They must not fear. Funds must be made available, must not be a laughing stock in the eyes of the global world.
Hmm. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you so much. So before I let you go, talking about Nigerians being prepared for this, do you think we have enough information out there about this census? Because now let's look at it this way. You and I have access to the internet. We could go out and get a newspaper, get to read about it, and we know that the census is um, coming on very soon. But there are people in rural communities who don't even know about it. You will be shocked to know that if we go out on the street to ask people if they know about the forthcoming census, some people don't even know anything about it. So, do you think a lot of Nigerians know or are prepared for this? Hello, Haruna. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
we can't really say. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Information is key in everything we do in life, and information can never be enough. That is why what you are doing, this noble thing you're doing, is part of creating awareness for this census. Like I said, it's a collective stakeholders bargain as Nigerians. Every hand must be on deck. Churches, mosques, village meetings and social influencers, religious leaders must actually embrace this as theirs. In my own rural community, for instance, it's been talk of the town. Everybody's mobilizing for the census. So I don't know about other places, but I've seen couples of information materials on the census. I've seen on billboards, I've heard on radio, I've seen on television. Like I said, it's usually never enough. Information is never enough because
Mm.
of the inherent mischief that comes with communication. Some people deliberately undermine facts so that they could peddle, fake news. When you go to social media, you see the interest on the census. Some people are saying that they don't want to be counted so that the repeat of the elections will not happen. So that means there's actually information about the census. So what we should do is to intensify the amplification of this information so that it can get to every nook and cranny of this country, so that every Nigerian, non-Nigerian resident in Nigeria is counted for national development.
All right, thank you. So one more thing, I have a message here and it's asking, would there be holiday for the census? So would there be any holiday for
Yeah, I
that?
think we the government definitely will make this announcement. You know, we will make this announcement. People like us as stakeholders, we do not have the absolute authority to say whether there will be or no, will not be. I think we'll leave that to the government, the Ministry of Interior, to actually do that, not influencers like us. We are just stakeholders in making this happen.
All
I'm
right.
sure in the days to come, we'll know whether there will be holidays or not.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Abdullah Haruna. Thank you for being on the show this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Esther. Thank you for the noble work you're doing. This is altruistic. May you be celebrated.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your kind words. Do have a wonderful day.
My pleasure.
All right. So there you have it. You know what you need to know about the forthcoming census. So do not let anybody cajole you into, oh, one thing happened during the election, don't be counted. If you do not allow yourself be counted, you're doing yourself and your community a lot of disservice. So by all means, ensure that you get counted. Wherever it is that you live is where you should stay so that you can get counted. So now I'm glad that we've been able to have this conversation. So you know what you need to know. If you want to listen to this conversation again, you can go back on YouTube, WFM 917, and there you have it, so you can listen over again. My name is Esther Alaribe, and this has been The Big Question on Women Radio 91.7. Do well to join us again on Wednesday at 5 minutes past 12 as we get to discuss issues affecting us as a nation and as citizens. Here's The Big Question is brought to you going forward Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 5 minutes past 12. Do not forget that issues like this do not stop here. We must keep talking to continuously create awareness on the forthcoming census. All right. My name is Esther Alaribe. Good afternoon.
To sponsor this program, call the number 0816 480 7613.
Ní Women Radio 91.7 àmọ̀rírì rẹ̀, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni a sì ń fẹ́ láti súnmọ́ ẹ sí i. Ní báyìí, ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Women Radio yóò mú ẹ darapọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn akẹgbẹ́ obìnrin bíi tiẹ̀ ní ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ 36 ní Nàìjíríà. Ṣé oníṣòwò ni ẹ́, oníṣòwò aládàáni, akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ nílé ìwé, òṣìṣẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì, ìyàwó ilé tàbí àgbẹ̀? Women Radio wà fún yín láì ná yín ní ohunkóhun. Forúkọ sílẹ̀ ní wfm917.com. O sì tún lè darapọ̀ mọ́ ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Women Radio ní Facebook group gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ ẹgbẹ́. A ó bá ọ ṣe ìgbélárugẹ okòwò rẹ ní Women Radio tí wàá sì tún láǹfààní láti máa jẹ ẹ̀bùn tó jọjú lóṣooṣù. Dáúnlóòdù mobile app wa kó o sì máa gbọ́ wa níbikíbi tó o bá wà. Ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Women Radio yóò mú ẹ ní àjọṣepọ̀ pẹ̀lú akẹgbẹ́ obìnrin bíi tiẹ̀ tó kù.
Lunch vibes. Every music note counts, aligning with lyrics and rhythm. Words soothing to the ears, voices and melodies with the best vibes ever. That is Lunch Vibes on Women Radio WFM 91.7.
I blow your candle light. You know I'm just that type. No, them no fit kill my.
Ilé-iṣẹ́ rédíò àkọ́kọ́ nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà tí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn obìnrin jẹ́ lógún púpọ̀, WFM 91.7 ti gbé àrà titun àti ètò titun wá sí etí ìgbọ́yín o. Ètò yìí ni a pè ní Láwùjọ Obìnrin, níbi tí a ó ti máa gbé àwọn ètò ọlọ́kan òjọ̀kan tó ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú gbogbo àwọn obìnrin sórí afẹ́fẹ́. A ó máa bá ara wa jíròrò, gbá ara wa níyànjú, a ó sì máa ṣe ara wa létí. Èmi ọ̀rẹ́ yín, ìyáàfin Florence Ọládọ̀tun Àmọ́ ni yóò máa ṣe atọ́kùn ètò yìí. Ẹ tẹ́tí sí wa ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Ajé Monday láti agogo 3 ọ̀sán fún ètò Láwùjọ Obìnrin láti iléeṣẹ́ WFM 91.7. Ètò Láwùjọ Obìnrin á sọ wá di obìnrin rere, ìyàwó rere fún àwọn ọkọ wa, ìyá rere fún àwọn ọmọ wa àti ọmọ Nàìjíríà rere.
Ṣèmi lóbìnrin rere, ṣèmi láwòkọ́ṣe rere láwùjọ obìnrin.
Oh yeah, give them left and right, hot.
You think you know Nigeria's biggest tunes?
This battle is a problem.
Then get in the ring on the Big Team Show every weekday from 4 to 5 p.m. on WFM 91.7. Be ready. Okay, now.
Radio Doctor.
Doctor on WFM 91.7 every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. brings you medical experts specialized in women's health.
If you're a 28-day cycle person, just count forward on your day 14, you would ovulate.
Call in to get free consultation on women's health on 07000 917 917 and 090 256 25455. You can send in questions, cases, and related contributions on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at WFM 917. Text and WhatsApp to 070 317 56537. You can listen live online on www.wfm917.com. Radio Doctor, Nigeria's first free consultation radio health program on WFM 91.7.
The stories are real.
Something like this happened to me years back. I saw some messages in his phone. The lady that sent the message to him, when I told him, I said, "Oh, why are you like this? Why are you doing all this?"
It's all around you.
And so when she comes up to him to tell you her sexual needs, you should be humble enough to listen. And if there's something you can do about that, you do it. Is it reading books? Is it seeing a therapist? Be open to certain things, because at the end of the day, this person is your partner. That is the bottom line of everything. My family advised him to marry the girl he has impregnated. We forced him, but he refused. But when the girl starts telling that, you call her too much, then there's something fishy.
You want to share it. What will people say? You're not alone. Break the silence culture. Adult Conversations. Weeknights from 8 on WFM 91.7, the voice of women.
This is WFM 91.7.
Where is my shoes? Where is my clothes? Where be my salary? I want to party. Where is my shoes? Where is my clothes? Where be my salary? me tell you something.